And it's time for the enemy to do their dance. And that's exactly what they're doing. Not much else. Nothing that would cause us any harm, at least. And this is one of the good things about Morgan's chicken little nature. See, he's going to keep running no matter what. But for some reason, a few of his troops will stay behind to attack. But they fall out of his command range, and without those good graces, they really can't do much to us. So, I like where this is going. Oh, okay, as long as they're not attacking Liana, I'm going to have a problem with that. But her guards are fulfilling their role quite well. They can't touch her. She is well protected, which is what we like. Scott there refusing to be defeated. One thing about these generals though, it speaks well of them, they identify with their men. So when they say, I will not fall, or I will be victorious, they're referring to them as well as their mercenaries. So, you know, if you got to be a hired hand, these are the type of folks you want to work for. Somebody who's actually going to value your life, who's going to put themselves in your shoes. And let's all be thankful we weren't in their shoes. And them as well. So yeah, the wolves, they are capable of doing a little bit, but again, that was against soldiers, so they have a slight advantage against them. Okay, look at Cherie go. Thank you, boots. Yeah, if no other secret item, make sure you pick up those swift boots. They make a huge difference in the early stages. And you can't be serious. You bet. He's not gonna listen to you, Mr. Warlock man. I think the trees would be a good place to put him since he's not at full strength. And because of that, he wasn't going to be able to take them out, but he did significant damage considering. Surpassed his current health actually, which you don't see very often. But Elwin is a bit of a brute. He doesn't mess around. He offers no apologies and very little sympathy. And in this instance, it's not something we don't dislike seeing. And his elves are fading fast. This is good. He's got the one left. I'm gonna be patient. Because even though those horsemen probably could take care of him, that would leave them susceptible to Morgan's horsemen. And in the off chance they actually stay behind to attack, that would be bad news bears, because I want to preserve them again as long as we can. So Cherie will focus on her, get her troops up here. They can take care of 2. Now, as you probably noticed by now on your own, you have that 10. Ooh, she learned heal and got a great level up. Level 2s are usually pretty decent. You get a lot of stats and a new spell if that class has access to new spells. But as far as the number on the screen indicating their health as well, health here is basically interchangeable with current numbers. 10 HP means 10 hired hands in that group. Now on screen, you've probably noticed by now that you'll only see 5 at a time. So basically 1 sprite on the screen indicates 2 troops. So 5 sprites on your side, that's 10 troops. If you had 2 sprites, that's 4 men. On this side, they only have 2. Their health is indicative of 3, so it's basically... Or I guess, you know what, another way to look at it that's maybe more accurate. You have 5 troops on each side, 10 is indicative of their health, so each troop has 2 HP. So before there were 2 troops but at 3 HP, so that meant one of them was damaged half down. Now they're at 2, so they're 2 but full health. And they remain at full health. So we have 5 units, 2 HP apiece equals 10. I hope I'm not being confusing with my explanation, but I'm just offering up an alternative way to look at the health system in this. It's very unique and different than anything else I've played outside of this series, but again, I haven't played nearly enough tactical games, so it's probably due to my own inexperience. There are probably plenty of games that use a similar system, and I just haven't experienced them. Now, we're just going to sit them down to recover. Same for them actually. We just want to, again, keep her well protected, and Scott too. We don't want to underestimate their capabilities, and we don't want to overestimate our own defensive position, because we don't have one to speak of at this point. We're all kind of scattered about doing our own thing. Gotta bring it to better. Just everybody just huddle around, group hug. Those who can make it. Not attacking. This is what we call not pressing your luck. Because I don't live on luck. It's not something that I really put much stock in. I believe that success is a thing you mostly manufacture for yourself. So with that in mind, let's continue to exercise good tactics and sound strategies. And you see that damage? Oh, the archers are similar to the wolves. They excel in the treetops. So that would probably be why they did so much damage there. That's my guess. Pikes and guards, they're kind of 50-50. Maybe pikes have a slight advantage. They have a definite advantage when my guards are out of command range. And that was the end of them. Soldiers did very good there, surprisingly. Even trade, 2 and 2. I kind of like the fact that those wolves are closely condensed now like that. Maybe I can get some people to just go around them and annoy them by ignoring them for a turn, possibly. In the meantime, we know what we have to do with Elwin. We have to keep charging forward, so that's what we're going to do. But we're not going to attack with him. Not this time. If I attack them, will my horsemen survive the volley? Yes, they will. Good. And they're still going to recover next turn, so they just have to make it to the next turn. That's always the fun part. I don't want to attack Morgan with them, because there's a chance that they would one-shot him. Yeah, and we don't want that. It wouldn't end the battle, but it would be a lot of experience down the drain, because he still has some men left. And we need to deal with that. Oh, is this it already? In that case, I'm going to be patient, maybe, or nah. I should have been patient. So apparently werewolves are the budget beasts around here. But I mean, come on now. Let's be serious. Would you trust a guy like him with a lot of finances? No. He's not the one you give the gold to. Because you know he's just going to probably just spend it on cheap booze and women. We're going to put her there, and her men are going to follow suit. So whoever you decide to send after Morgan, if you do decide to do that, try to get somebody alongside them as backup. In this case, it's going to be Cherie. Poor Hein. Really just got stuck in the mud over here. I really didn't want it to pan out this way, but I saw it as a possibility, and that's where we are. But at least he can handle it. Slow but sure. Because even though pikemen have the advantage against them, their attack is not that high at this point, so they're still going to have difficulties because the advantage is mostly defensive. Because of that, I'm going to have to send him in directly. And he did good damage, so we finally can end this. Or not. It's okay, we have more. It's because he's in the trees, I'm thinking. When they're in the trees, they are basically giant cockroaches. But you gotta respect them, they know how to survive. He has 1 soldier left. 5 technically. What can we do here? We can do this, because I don't want to move Scott just yet. Taking advantage of the fact that the soldiers have the advantage against them. And probably don't want Scott to attack the thief directly because he'll suffer a tremendous blow with their high attack. So he's going to take care of them. They are going to heal up because we have plenty of full health. They should be able to do at least a point or two. Ooh, or a few. And they didn't die, even better. So we pretty much got this. The question is, do I let Scott ride it on home? I think I do. But we do want to remember Liana. I want to get her to her next class as soon as possible because she'll have access to a very nifty ability once we do that. She'll just have to hit level 2 in that class, but that won't take long. She's already at level 6. On that note, let's heal up, including you. She's over level 5, so she'll have good range. Yep. Now the value for the heal spells is determined by their level, not the characters, but the range of the spell is affected by their current level, so keep that in mind. If they're level 4 or below, it'll probably just heal in a cross formation, a maximum of 5 characters if everybody's closely grouped, so it's not as effective by far. And that's the only problem that comes with graduating to a new character job is a lot of your spells are going to take a hit in the effectiveness department. These guys are going to take a little bit to catch up, so we don't have to worry about them. And it is turn 7. Let's see what we can do about Morgan once and for all. Elwin, he can handle this. Another fun thing about the generals that you can take advantage of, even when your commanders are at low health or reduced health, if their stats are naturally high, or if they're a class that is strong against whatever enemies are nearby them, the enemies might surround them, but it's very unlikely they'll attack them. Even though they could probably take them out because of their low HP, there's a good chance that they'll leave them alone. So there are situations where you can throw off your trepidations and send your commanders literally into the fire to come out unscathed. Situations like this where those wolves could surround Elwin. They could take out his troops, sure, and they'll probably do that, but they'll leave him alone most likely. You have to be careful though, you have to know when you can get away with that and when you can't. Next turn, Morgan. Because I really should give this experience to Elwin. He certainly worked for it. But guess what I'm gonna do instead? Because he just needs to go. Crud. Sword you don't see nearly enough. It couldn't be helped. He's the son of the Roadrunner. But we'll get him next time, because you know there's going to be a next time. Can't leave him with a nosebleed. No, no, no. That's not how it's going to end. I'm going to leave him with much more than that. Because he's kind of a nuisance to all good-natured and civilized life as we speak. Sad to say. Hey, Scott. Could have been worse. Bring them back. Send them in. How will it end? Not as I had hoped. Not as I had hoped. You know what's funny? I probably could send Liana in and she could finish them off, but we're going to heal instead. Because again, she has options. She can attack to heal. Yeah. No, not really. She can attack to get experience, or she can heal to gain experience. Other characters may not have that luxury, so let's give it to Scott, who is this close to his next class. Because he needs to be promoted. He's kind of feeling behind, and I haven't forgotten about him. We need to take care of that, because his next class, what I'm decided to do with him, is going to be very, very useful. But we'll get to talk about that momentarily. I anticipate we can get him the class change before the end of this scenario, so we don't have too long to wait. There's still plenty of enemies on the map if I play the cards right. the wolf commanders really just don't have it in them, do they? You've noticed they haven't been doing a lot of damage to anybody, whether it was our guards or our soldiers. It's sad the generals and commanders don't benefit from the boost they lend their troops, but it does make sense. You know, it's like if you're giving somebody else a lift, you're not being lifted, at least not in the physical sense. I'd like to think that you're being lifted in another sense, but you're helping somebody else, but that doesn't extend to you. But it's a symbiotic relationship, you know, they help them and they're helped in return because the troops are basically an extension of their own hands. They get to deal additional damage through them, they get to utilize additional spells through them, where the summons count at least. They get to cover more ground. So yes, your troops do count. You probably won't see me encounter a lot of scenarios in this game where I'll have solo runs or I'll have commanders who are going into battle without any troops whatsoever. That will happen occasionally, but not often. Not nearly as often as you might have seen it in Warsong or Langrisser 1, because in that game, for some reason, you can really get away with having commanders go out into battle on their own in many situations. Far more than I probably took advantage of even, but here, not so much. There's just a lot more going on here. There are a lot more ambushes, a lot more enemies, a lot more terrain to cover. So I wouldn't recommend that. And then you've got secret items, you've got NPCs to preserve. It's just so much going on. They probably won't be able to do much damage to them, so we will send them instead and just block them off. They're not going to heal next turn, so there's really no rush. At this point, Liana stands no chance of catching up to Elwin. We're on a time restraint as well, so I can't gingerly take my time and get everybody recovered and slowly make our way up north, ignoring the enemy. We can't do that. We only have 22 turns. I know we're only at turn 8, but you'd be surprised how fast that time will fly. So all these guys are just gonna kind of be stuck here, so we don't have to rush with them too much. Instead of trying to play catch up with Cherie and Elwin, they'll just stay behind and pick off the werewolves and hopefully get a lot of good experience in the process. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, they did some damage that time. Too bad they didn't go down to 7. We wouldn't have to worry about them for a round. And those soldiers won't make it. No way. Unfortunate. But hey, Hein's there. He's gonna help out. This guard's still surviving. Even if you didn't plan to attack with the guardmen, at this stage it's still good to give Liana 2 or 3, just as bodyguards. That's essentially their role. But just wait till her next clash. She's gonna get some troops who can actually deal good damage to a variety of enemies, and we're gonna be using them for that. So then she'll be able to attack as well as to recover her allies and just gain that much more XP as a result. Those troops that I'm referring to are monks, by the way. Even more useful than they were in Warsong. Because in that game they were kind of specialized. They were very good against skeletons, decent against flying units, and just kind of middle of the road against everything else. They did have that attack similar to archers, though they got to attack first and from a distance, so that was very helpful. In this game they are close range. Still pretty good though. Okay, Elwin can finally start dealing with these guys. This is the time to heal him up. Werewolves and horsemen are pretty evenly matched, I believe. I think we'll do more damage to them, but they will hurt us quite a bit, so I don't necessarily want to send his men out in a hurry. Try to keep Cherie's men alive a little bit longer. Oh, you know what? I would really like to put somebody in those trees before they occupy that space, but don't have enough hands on deck right now. Rather keep everybody close. I think that would work out better in the end. I really want to show off that illusion spell for you guys, but this isn't a situation where it'll really help out. Oh, speaking of being nebulous, I'm gonna just go ahead and talk about it now because I don't know when I'm gonna be in a situation to capitalize on it. The illusion spell allows your caster to conjure up holographic images of themselves. These images cannot attack, but you can move them around and position them as you would any other unit. If you try to attack an enemy with the holograph, they will just vanish. They will instantly die. So don't do it, it's a waste. But what they're good for is stationing them around characters that you want to keep safe. The enemy most of the times will go right for the images on their turn. They will take them out in one hit instantly, suffer no damage, because they're just illusions. But basically, they're wasting their turn. They're attacking something that can't attack back, and your other people are completely safe. Safe to recover, safe to retreat, safe to do whatever you need them to do. So it's a very useful spell if you play it appropriately. The only problem with it is the number of images you conjure is limited by the number of troops you currently have for that general. So if Hein casts it, for example, and he has no troops on the field at this point whatsoever, he will get a maximum of probably 6 images, most likely, which is very useful. And usually they'll spawn directly around the commander as close as they can, so he'll be surrounded. But for every troop that you still have alive on the field, that number will reduce by 1 typically. So if you have all 6 of your units and you cast illusion, you've just wasted 2 MP because you'll get back, that's right, none. You won't see any images. If you've lost 1 unit, you'll get 1 image. If you have 3 troops, you'll get 3 images, and so on and so forth. I just want to make sure I throw that out now, again, in case anybody plays this for themselves. I don't want to lead you astray. But it is so useful, I can't even tell you. I'm sure there'll come a battle here or there where we'll be able to make the most of it. This just isn't the one. But it's about to be the enemy phase again, and this will be a great time to call it a day. Everybody, thanks for joining me yet again. Until next time, where we conclude, finally, Scenario 5. Have a wonderful day, and hopefully, we'll see you here soon.